Well, shit. New truck out, new truck problems. Let's take a look. So I was having some issues with low air conditioning when I was sitting still. First thing I want to check is, am I getting any airflow? Notice this fan spinning? That's bad. This is a Kysor fan clutch. The lining is right there. And if you can see this flush like this when it's shut off, it's no good. It should be recessed in there a little bit. The fan's got a little wobble to it. It's not too bad. So we're going to change the lining out. We do it right inside the road, right here, back to behind this McDonald's down here. I'm going to show you exactly how. You'll see that there are 6 bolts and 3 plates right here. 2 bolts per plate. You're going to take those bolts out, and then we're going to remove the lining. If I remember correctly, they're 1/4 inch. They're pretty easy to get. They're not super tight. If you over tighten them, you'll strip them, so be careful. And here is our lining kit. Don't mind the unit running in the background. This is the Volvo part number right here, 85134490. This is a Borg Warner Kysor kit. It's a Kysor fan clutch. Includes some parts you're not necessarily going to need. This is a minor rebuild. Includes a couple soft things and seals and whatnot. We're not going to use a lot of this. It comes with instructions too. This is why Kysor is so much better than Horton. This is your lining right here. One piece. You can break it in half to get it in. It's got to stretch all the way around the clutch hub, which it should be able to do when it's new. These are your new bolts. Oops, drop that. These are your new bolts here. These are bolts for the hub. This is the cover for the front, which we're not going to be using. Also not going to be using the grease or the seal or the other various seals. Again, this is a minor rebuild kit. The lining is available by itself. I don't remember the part number, but pretty much nobody stocks it, so you're going to look at buying this kit. I have one I carried in the truck because I know better. Alright, you can't really see it here, but this is your new screw. This guy here. It is real simple 5/16 ratcheting box wrench. 8mm will also get the job done. You can do a socket, a 1/4 inch socket if you want, but it's a little tight in there. So I usually prefer to use the ratcheting box wrench. I seem to have better luck with it. Alright, so to give you a little glimpse of this here, this is your friction side. It's the back side of these little C's. That's actually the friction side that rubs against the back of that lining, and it wedges that lining. It's like a cone. It pushes it into the front of the hub. You'll see when I get it out. We've got the first one off. Just gotta get the other 2 real quick, and then it should just pop out. Now if you look, you can see the original lining right there with the split in it. As soon as I get that last piece out, it's gonna come out. Also, I prefer to go bottom to top when I'm doing this, so that the piece will hang and you can control it with your fingers of your left hand. I'm on the passenger side of the engine. If you do the top, it'll try to flip backwards and it's hard to catch. You don't want to lose or damage these little C pieces. They're important. The screws don't matter. I got my screws out right here. Have a little chisel in case I got to pry it out. I got my 3 friction plates right here. Again, that's the inside of them. You'll see this side right here. If I can get the focus. You'll see this side here. This will be the back side, which actually pushes against the back side of the friction right here. So, see if we can pop this bad boy out. First, let's see if I can wiggle. Sometimes it'll wiggle out, sometimes it won't. So now we start poking. Boop! Out, just like that. You might have missed it, hopefully the camera caught it. Here, just in case it didn't, I'm gonna put this back in. Just like that. It doesn't take much to get it out. It literally just falls out, just like that. Now, pull on it. Doesn't matter if you break it, it's okay. And there she is. Broke it clean in half. Now you're gonna see the difference between this one and the new one in just a moment. Alright, so here's the pieces of our old one. See the cross section of that right there. Okay. Here's our new one. See, it's a much thicker piece. Let's see if I can get a good visual on that. It's much thicker. than the old one. Because the old one wears here and here, also wears in the back. You'll notice that the originals usually have this groove in them. The aftermarkets do not. One note, if you have to stretch this out real big. I'll show you here. Stretch this out real big to get over the fan hub right there. If you break this, like back here or so, it's okay. It can go on in multiple pieces. It'll work just the same. I try to put them on in one piece, but sometimes you just can't help it. They're pretty flexible when they're new though. So don't panic if you break it. Now, while we got this bad boy apart, you're not gonna be able to put this in until you can move the clutch back with the air. So you're gonna have to start the truck up and air it up, because the clutch, hold on a moment, the clutch here will slide backwards with the air. So it's a spring applied, like a parking brake. It moves forward. If you lose air, so the fan always stays on. So the fan hub's going to move back a little bit, but I got to put air in the truck first. We're going to start up and let it run. Also, watch your fan control solenoid. I'll show you that is, because if that solenoid starts to fail, it'll burn these things up in about 3 days. Hold on. All right, well, this is a VT. The solenoid's in the same spot. You've got the firewall here, obviously governor, foot valve, clutch reservoir, blah, blah, blah. The air control valve hides under here. That little guy right there. Now, you can't see it because it's dark, but this is the newer style. It's a black plastic one. The old silver metal ones are junk. They rust out and they fail, so be careful with those. You will need a updated wiring harness to put a new one in, but they're a very easy fix. So now we're going to wait a second and let this bad boy air up. You'll notice the fan is spinning, but that's just parasitic. There's no clutch in there of any kind at all. Don't try this at home, but this is how much effort is on that fan. Hardly anything. If you ever see your fan spinning backwards like this, don't panic. That's okay. But don't ever stick your hand in the fan unless you know what the hell you're doing, or lose a finger real quick. Again, I'll get you a nice close-up of that clutch. You see the shiny part? That is the friction area in there. When the air comes back, this whole assembly is going to move backwards towards the engine. And I'll show you how that looks. So we're aired up now, so I'm going to see if I can get you close to that hub so you see what we're dealing with. Okay, you see the hub right here. Where's my finger? There it is. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, now watch, it's a little blurry because it's a digital zoom. When I turn the key on, that whole hub's going to slide backwards. See? Now when I turn the key off, it'll slide forwards. Wait for it. That's the clutch applying itself. So now we turn the key on, bring the clutch back, and we can put our lining in. Make sure you leave this up here so you can watch me put that lining in. Okay, let's try this again. Get a little zoom. I apologize for all the hissing. I have a small leak in my suspension gauge line. So you're going to see me go in here, right down there. I'm going to come in and push that lining right over that clutch hub. Trying to catch it right on the edge of the power steering so you guys see what I'm doing. Use lining. Got to kind of do it by feel. Turn it out. Done. And it's in. And now, push it in like this, put the plates back on, and you're done. Alright, with that we're done. The camera's almost dead. You see the new bolts in there. I'll show you how to test this before you start the engine. Okay, this will be real easy. I'm going to take a look at that bad boy right there. I'm going to make sure that it moves and the fan stops spinning when I shut the key off. Well, it's dragging a little bit, but just watch for the clutch to move. move much. Now I can't move that fan at all. See, the fan is locked. So we're going to start it and try it out. Alright, moment of truth. See if this bad boy works. Where the hell's the damn fan? There it is. I'd say that's a good thing. Now if you shut it off with no air, see how the fan kind of glides to a stop there. That tells me maybe I've got a clutch issue, not sure yet. I'll air up real quick. Notice the fan is not spinning fast. We'll shut the truck off, and then you'll see the fan lock up. Boom. Done. All right, one of the things I want to show you guys real quick, I'm going to start this up again, and I'm going to show you how quick this thing should engage when it's running right. Let's get her started. I had the ignition on, that's why the fan wasn't spinning. So watch this. I'm going to idle it up, turn the AC on. Should engage nice and crisp. Shouldn't drag at all. Just like that. Now you got air. So if you got air conditioning issues when you're sitting still, or it's fine when you're moving, start here. Good luck and be safe. Okay, so here's a better close-up view of that fan clutch hub when it's all aired up. It dragged a little bit before because the air was low. So you see I shut the engine off right there. It'll go a minute and lock up, stop, just like that. You're done.